The neon sign over Millie's Diner buzzed faintly in the morning mist. Nestled beside Highway 7, in a sleepy Pennsylvania town forgotten by time, the old diner stood proudly, its worn tiles, torn menus, and the welcoming aroma of eggs and coffee refusing to fade. Inside, Linda Barrett, now 68, moved with a rhythm born from decades of routine. She'd been here since she was 24, and the regulars often joked she had coffee running through her veins. Another day, another omelet, she joked to Ray, the cook, as she rang up a ticket. Then came a sound that didn't belong. Tires crunching slowly over gravel. A sleek black sedan rolled to a stop outside. Curious heads turned. Cars like that didn't come here. Not unless they were lost or looking for something. The bell over the door chimed. A sharply dressed man stepped inside, followed by someone whose face was instantly recognizable. Older, deeply lined, but unmistakably Donald J. Trump. Utensils paused midair. Silence fell. Linda froze for a beat, then smiled, steadying her breath. "Well, I'll be. You actually came back." Trump took off his cap, scanning the room like an old photograph. "Told you I would, didn't I?" He slid into the corner booth, the same one he'd sat in 20 years earlier. Linda approached with the coffee pot. "The usual?" she asked. He smiled. "You remember?" She nodded. Some things never change. What nobody knew, not even Linda, was that this visit wasn't just for a cup of coffee. It was about a promise. Summer 2005. Rain pounded the roofs, turning roads into rivers. A younger Donald Trump, after a canceled business trip in Pittsburgh, found himself driving through the storm, tired and drenched. He spotted the faint glow of a neon sign off the highway, Millie's Diner. He pulled in, his car spitting gravel, and stepped inside, soaked through. Dressed in a long, dripping overcoat, he sat at a booth and ordered scrambled eggs and black coffee. At the time, no one knew who he was. Linda, 47 then, had stayed past her shift to cover for a no-show. She spotted the weary man and approached gently. "Rough day?" she asked, placing a napkin beside his untouched plate. He looked up, surprised by the kindness. You could say that. She didn't press. Instead, a few minutes later, she brought him a warm slice of pecan pie. "On the house," she said. "Storms don't last forever." They talked, not about money or politics, but about real things. Small towns. Her son Nathan, who had just enlisted in the Navy, the struggles of raising him alone, the pride in a quiet life. When he left, he paused by the counter. "If I ever return," he said, "I want you to serve me again." She grinned. "Only if you remember my name." "I will," he promised. And now, he had. Present day. Murmurs buzzed throughout the diner, as if the walls themselves were unsure how to respond. Linda refilled his cup. "Still take it black?" He smiled. "Haven't changed it since," she chuckled. "Neither have I." "Please," he said, "just call me Donald." From behind the counter, Ray leaned toward Marcy, the hostess. "Why do you think he's here?" "No idea," she whispered, "but it's got something to do with Linda." As Linda cleaned a nearby table, she noticed Trump carefully pulling something from his coat, a weathered envelope, edges frayed from time. "I've kept this for 20 years, he said. "It belongs to you." Linda blinked. "For me?" He nodded and handed it over. Her name was written across the front, to Linda Barrett. "The woman who reminded me what matters." With hands trembling, she opened it. Inside was a letter. And something more, a folded property deed. She read aloud, "Dear Linda, your kindness meant the world to me that day. You reminded me that titles and towers mean nothing without humanity. I never forgot your pie or the story about your son. So this diner, and the land it stands on, is yours now. If you're reading this, I kept my word." Her voice broke. "This is the entire block." Trump nodded. I bought it years ago, had other plans, but after that day, I knew it wasn't mine to change. Linda held the deed to her chest. Why give it now? Because you waited, he said softly, and I came back. The diner stood still. Even the sizzling from the kitchen seemed to hush. Linda, blinking through tears, whispered, Donald, I don't know what to say. You don't have to, he said. You already did, 20 years ago. Then he reached again into his jacket and revealed an old photo. A Navy man in uniform. She gasped, That's Nathan, my boy. Trump nodded. I met him at a fundraiser years later. He told me about his mom, the woman who raised him alone and taught him honor. Linda clutched the image. He died last year. I know, Trump said quietly. I sent flowers, no name attached. She looked at him, touched. He loved this photo, kept it in his locker. He told me, Trump said. He also made me promise, if I ever saw you again, I had to say thank you. From both of us. Then, after a long breath, but I also came to ask something. Linda looked at him curiously. What is it? I want to help rebuild this town. Not for headlines, for the people, and I want you to help lead it. Me? She said, stunned. You're the heart of this place. Everyone trusts you. And this diner, this is where it all begins. She looked at her son's photo. He would have said yes. Trump nodded. Then let's make it happen. By sunrise, the story had taken root. Trump was in Millfield and something big was happening. Reporters arrived, cameras followed. But Linda kept her doors open and her answers short. This isn't about press, she said. It's about purpose. Trump agreed. He turned interviews down, instead gathering with townspeople right there in the diner. Blueprints were sketched on napkins, ideas exchanged between bites of pancakes. And slowly, the town began to believe again. Not everyone trusted it. At the market, some grumbled, he'll disappear when the cameras do. But a week later, a banner went up. Rebuilding starts here. Millie's Diner leads the way. Trump held a town hall in the school gym. No media. Just citizens. I'm not here to win votes, he said. I'm here because one woman gave when she had nothing to gain. He laid out his plans. Grants for small businesses, apprenticeships, a scholarship in Nathan Barrett's name. The room erupted. Outside, a little girl whispered to her mom, I want to be like Miss Linda. And slowly things changed. The diner became the town's gathering place. Veterans lingered, teens volunteered, old rivalries faded. In the booth where Trump first returned, a photo was hung. Linda pouring coffee, both of them smiling. Below it, a brass plaque read in pie. One promise, one town rebuilt. Linda stood beside it one evening, hand on her heart, watching the crowd. For the first time in decades, she realized she wasn't waiting anymore. She had become the reason people showed up.